thank you for joining us today. We're going to continue our SR20 swap in our E30. Today we're tackling the brake system. We're going to delete the ABS system altogether. It's got kind of a mind of its own, likes to engage when it shouldn't, stuff like that. We're also going to swap out the brake booster with one out of a Volkswagen Jetta. Now that should give us a little bit more clearance on the exhaust side. As you can tell from the B-roll that we don't have a lot of space there. Heat's going to be a big issue as well, so we're going to build a little shield down the road just to protect the master cylinder and all that. We also have some braided brake lines that we picked up that we're going to toss in since we got to bleed the system anyways, and we're kind of already there, so let's dig into it. So the first thing we're going to do is swap out this brake booster. We need to disconnect the lines anyways off the master. So we're just going to get all of this out of the way. It is kind of messy because the brake fluid is going to obviously go everywhere. You can always cap off the master if you want to. I made a makeshift low drain pan to help contain everything. So just be careful, just be aware you're going to make a big mess, which is always fun because brake fluid is fantastic on your hands. So let's start cracking some fittings free. That's going to stay. So we have our brake booster out. As you can tell, the Jetta one's actually a lot smaller, which is what we wanted. The only downside is the rod for the booster itself on the Jetta one is longer. This is sticks out about 4.25, 4.5. This is way more, so we're gonna actually have to trim this down. We're gonna try to actually thread it so that way the fitting screws on like it did on the E30 one. Worst case scenario, I mean, we can just throw a couple of tacks on that guy and it'll be good to go. So right now we're going to measure, we'll mark it and cut it and then try to thread it first. So let's do it. one little issue we ran into with installing the Jetta brake booster is this mat right here. Actually, they use this for heat and sound, stuff like that. All of that's going to be coming out anyways. We're going to be painting the engine bay. But the E30 booster has a little bit of a riser, as you can see, that fits right in this opening here and kind of puts the booster off of that mat, as the Jetta one does not have. Now, we thought maybe we could build a little spacer and set it off, but the studs on the booster are actually too short for that. So we'll probably either just go with a similar mat or just no mat altogether. For now, we're actually just going to cut out an opening, so we just kind of mock everything up and keep moving forward with our ABS delete. So we have our brake booster fitted. Obviously the master cylinder is not on yet, which is fine, because we need to delete the ABS module and all of this crap. As you can tell, it's ugly, and for those of you who got the pleasure of driving this car when it was still just an M20, the ABS kind of had a mind of its own. You would pull up to a stop sign, dry pavement, beautiful day, and the ABS would be like, I'm kicking in for some reason. So that's the main reason this is all going. Also, want this thing to actually look kind of pretty underneath the hood with the brand new motor, all that fun kind of jazz. So we're going to delete all the lines and this module next, and then we'll mount up our master cylinder and start figuring out how to tie that into the factory brake lines and stuff like that. Okay, so we have all of our lines off right now. I believe you can take off this little screw on this cover and get the harness off. We're trying not to cut it just because I'm not too sure what it all ties into right now. And just to be safe, I don't want to hack anything up. Once we get that disconnected, we can take this thing out and toss it in the scrap bin. One way to do it.
It's just coming out in chunks. Damn, dude.
Other than like the 1/4 inch section that's stuck in the bracket.
Yeah, man, I'd say that is a damn good find.
So, yeah, so that was like that, and that's why I cut all the way back here.
Wow.
The rest of it looks pretty good, but...
What a happy accident.
Yep.
Finding that.
I'm not even upset I gotta do more brake lines today.
No.
It's one of those, like, I'd hate to invest $3 grand into the car, only to have it all go away because I didn't fix 2 feet of brake line.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
Awesome.
Measure that all out.
Makes you wonder, do we need to inspect towards the back end, too?
The rest of it looks pretty good. You can see most of it.
Oh, you've seen it? Okay.
The bad spot about this is it's right where it all dips down between the firewall and the trans tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And from watching other YouTube shows, we work on BMWs once in a while, apparently that's a really bad spot for rust issues.
No, okay.
Moisture and stuff like that must just sit right in there.
Gets stuck.
So the rubber mat protection looks really good. Everything on the car looks pretty good, so my guess is it's just gunk kind of sat on those lines.
Yeah, must
but
have.
The fuel lines look fine.
Weird.
So,
okay.
That's what it is, but yeah, it's no bueno.
What you doing?
Trying to do a fight the urge to beat the shit out of you right now. That's what I'm doing.
Oh,
I've been hit with a 12mm wrench.
I have.
So, first thing we're going to do is take out this brake line. This ran from proportioning valve up to the ABS module. So we're going to take
The
that
one
off.
that's jiggling?
Yep, the one that's jiggling.
The jiggling line.
So we're literally just going to take it off and then have a new line. We're going to bend it. It's going to go to the front part of the master cylinder.
So is that what that line is?
No, this line is for the driver's side. So this will go to our three-way union.
Gotcha.
That goes from there to there, and then union, union, tie it all together.
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about that anymore.
Oh, wow.
That came right out.
That's terrible.
So.
Oh, wait. So you're saying, like, that's not the split.
No.
That's literally the line
That's what it was
rotten.
rusted, yeah. So that easily, just trying to move it out of the way, broke right free. So.
Holy
Thing
cow.
about going into the main straight at Brainerd at Mock Jesus, tapping the brakes.
Yikes. Having that thing blow out on you.
Yep. So happy accident.
Yeah, no kidding. You'd at least have front brakes for a moment. Well, actually, this is a dual reservoir, so
You'd have front brakes.
yeah, you'd have front
I
brakes.
still want the back to stop.
No kidding.
Stop. Alright, now that we have our rear brakes finished up and plumbed into the master cylinder, which is actually to the front portion for your rears, we're going to finish up the front brakes. All that's really left is to bend the driver's side up, and we're going to use this pre-existing line from the passenger side. We're going to cut it down and flare it. But we bought this handy dandy T-fitting. This is actually a BMW part, costs about $25, but we know it's going to work. And what's nice about this is you can actually mount this pretty much wherever you'd like. There's this little through port on it. And what we're going to do is drill into the strut tower right down here. We'll just drill, run a bolt through it, nylock it, call it good, and then we'll finish plumbing our brake lines. Alright, so we have everything wrapped up. Not too shabby of a job, pretty straightforward. Obviously need a second set of feet, for lack of better words, to bleed the brakes. But really swapping over the brake booster is really straightforward. And even deleting the ABS and all that garbage is pretty simple. Like I said, we ran into a couple of issues with brake lines, so we ended up patching everything while we were here. But that should wrap it up. So thank you for joining us. On the next episode, we're swapping out the steering rack with one from an E36.